Hello again. This video I found was, I don't know, kind of interesting, and I wasn't gonna react to it, but then I watched like the first minute, and then it was like, um, I thought it was just kind of gonna be like empty. I thought it was just kind of gonna be empty, but it seems like she actually talks more about the reasons, and so I was like, oh, well, maybe we can evaluate these reasons for this, and so I was like, let's see. Oh, excuse me. Let's see what there is to say. Here. Let's find out. So I decided to, let's see. Let's see if the video is any good. Let's see what we can find.
Live.
Hi everybody, it's Amala here with PragerU, and I'm streaming by myself today. Just gonna be
Okay.
talking to you about this upcoming holiday, and that is 4th of July coming around the corner this Sunday. And you know what I think about on 4th of July? I think about where I was as a young woman and my relationship with America, not even,
Sure.
3 years ago now. I
Sure.
used
Sure.
to hate this country,
Hmm.
and it's a crazy thing to have to sit here and to admit, but I think it's an important thing to admit because I can talk about where I was, my former leftist self, and where I am
Right.
now. Somebody who is so proud to be an American, so proud to live in this country, and so proud to celebrate the values and the traditions that has made this country great. But I
Uh-huh.
think the
Okay.
first thing I want to
Let's
talk about
let's just get to the
is
reasons.
why I hated America. And if there's anybody who's watching this who's out there and is on the left
We're a
like
minute
I
in
was and
already.
sort of shares
Fast
this
moving.
sentiment, I want to have a heart to heart
Oh, that's
conversation
me.
with you.
Let's see.
So
What's this
I
about?
hated America. Again, a crazy thing to say because, a multitude of things. I thought that America was racist.
I mean, it has been for most of its history. People were enslaved for the first 100 years. Black people didn't have equal rights, and for the next 100 years after that, and that's 200 of 250 years. And then, oh, you had redlining and sundown towns that went into the 90s and the 2000s, and there are even some sundown towns today. Sundown towns being places where if you go there when you're black at night, um, if you're still there, they'll probably like kill you and stuff. They're like white only towns basically. Um, so that's pretty hype. Um, obviously not really. But redlining, like I said. I mean, police laws disproportionately target things that black people do, like there being crack cocaine and like fucking like powdered cocaine, and crack cocaine is the one that gets like harsh punishments because it's more used by black people than powder cocaine, which is used by white people, and that has like more lenient punishments. I mean, there's a lot of racist stuff in America's history for most of its history. I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to say that America's been racist.
I thought it was patriarchal. I thought our capitalist society was just a means of exploiting people.
It is, yeah. I mean, look at all the people that. Shoot, sorry, I needed to get a drink of water. But I mean, it kind of is. I mean, people get what? Like, people don't get enough money to survive, and corporations get all this money. I mean, like, they're kind of using people. Like, you barely get by. Most people barely get by. I mean, she probably makes okay money now with PragerU, but even being like what 19 maybe. I bet she's like 19 years old. I don't know. But I mean, PragerU. I said PragerU. Oops. I was reading the PragerU logo in the bottom right when I was talking about it. But I was gonna say no. I mean capitalism. I mean there's a lot of people who suffer to like work and try and get by, so that way companies can be super rich and Jeff Bezos can compete with like richer people to see who can go into space first and stuff like. While Amazon workers pee in bottles and our climate gets destroyed while ExxonMobil sits there and makes sure that the climate keeps falling apart. I mean, it's kind of dystopian. All the ways that people are kind of exploited and just sort of tossed to the side in this society.
And I thought all of these things because that is what I was told. It was not because I researched or looked into it or I found any context.
I don't understand how you couldn't have found by researching like racist practices in America, like the fact that black people didn't have equal rights for the first 200 years. You didn't. there, your grandmother could have been a part of segregation. Your grandmother probably could remember it if your grandmother's alive. I guess I'm saying you, like Amala's ever gonna hear this, but your grandmother could probably remember that. Like the idea that that's literally within like our family, our like immediate family lifetimes that 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 America got rights to people is kind of crazy. Like my grandparents are older than the Ruby Bridges girl, who was the first girl to go to integrated school in the South. Like it's pretty immediate that America got over its more blatant racist practices. And like for the other stuff, again, yeah, just googling. Like I don't know how you don't find stuff on it.
that stated as such or was evidence of such things.
Well,
I was just taught that. And I was brainwashed into thinking that. And I don't want to alarm anybody by saying brainwashed, but that's exactly what it was. From a very young age, I was taught that being black and female in America was one of the worst things to be. That it was going to come with a lot of barriers, that people looked at me differently, that people viewed.
I mean, there are many times when that's true. Like there are places where, I mean, they've done studies on this. Literally, wait. Black names. Minorities who whiten their job resumes get more interviews. African American and Asian job applicants who mask their race have better success getting job interviews. That's a thing. That's that happens. Like this isn't that it is a place that is a thing that you will be disenfranchised for.
Viewed me differently, that people made judgments about
Oh
my
my god, I'm
character, my
7 minutes in.
morals, and my life just by looking at me. And of
That
course, that is a
does
very
happen.
disheartening thing. And that sort of attitude was not only attached to other people that I thought would treat me in this way, but it was also attached to America, its systems, its institutions, and its tradition and founding.
Yeah, its founding was so good for rights and freedom and liberty for all, huh? If you were a white man who owned property.
Because I was told that American systems and American institutions were put in place to hold people like me back, to hold other people of color back, and I fell for it.
I mean, they kind of have been. Like, how long? How long has it been? More. It has been much longer in history that black people have not been able to vote in America than black people have been able to vote. I mean, they've spent even the period between slavery and the Civil Rights Act. The South was using poll laws and poll laws. No, um, am I? Is it? Do I mean poll? Toll. Uh, like poll tax. Poll tax. That's what I mean. They were doing poll taxes and education tests and all this stuff after denying black people access to like education to prevent people from being able to vote. Like their American systems have been weaponized to damage black people. Like obviously there are ways to make it so that way they don't, but they are weaponized that way and they have been for a long time. That's true.
I really, really did, and I truly believed it. And it took a long while to wake up.
Oh
And when
god,
you
this feels
view
so virtual
America in
signally.
that light, when you view America as a racist, patriarchal, white supremacist, bigoted, discriminatory country, your
Yeah,
only
it kind of does a
option
lot of those
is to
things.
dislike this country. Your only avenue is to hate America. And
It's crazy that people don't like when their country treats them like shit for 200 of its 250 years of existence. That's wild. I can't imagine why.
And again, that is where I was. I thought that our institutions and our systems needed to be destroyed and rebuilt to sort of represent what I thought America was meant to be. Little did I know America was none of those things. It's not
Oh,
racist, it's not
really?
xenophobic, it's not patriarchal,
Why is
and
that?
our capitalist free market society is
It's not xenophobic. Tucker Carlson is on TV talking about how immigrants just taint the country and make it worse by like just mixing the demographics of it. But definitely there's no basis. Tucker Carlson, the number one news anchor, xenophobic on live television. But surely there's no basis for thinking that this country has xenophobia, is it?
not one that is meant to exploit people.
No?
And, it's not something that you just wake up and realize. It's something that takes true dedication. You have to actually look into our history. You have to look into our founding. You have to look
Really?
into the transgressions of America's past.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about the fact that we genocided Native Americans and their culture. Oh my god. A country for everyone. Truly, truly considerate and kind.
And realize that that is not where we are today to
Mm.
truly recognize that. Taylor, who's often on our stream, has this great quote, and he says,
Native Americans are doing. They have all their stuff? They've been treated well again? Or are they suffering on reservations and ignored? I wonder. Still xenophobic sentiment? Have those police laws been adjusted? Or are black people still stopped 4 times more than white people? It reminds me of, there was a Harvard study, that Ben Shapiro was using to, crazy. Can't believe it. Wow. Unbelievable. Definitely still no institutions being used in problematic ways though. But there was a there was a study Ben Shapiro cited like 2, 3 years ago or something where it was like, or maybe it was 1 or 2, I don't know. It was like a year or two ago maybe, I think, probably. That was like a Harvard one, and it found that like black people were not more likely to get shot by cops than white people, and conservatives were like, aha, see, policing doesn't have racial problems. But the study also said that black people were 4 times more likely to be stopped by police and then white people to end up in these instances. So even though cops reacted in those instances the same amount, like to everybody, like they shot the same amount of like white people as black people, like percentage wise, they were putting themselves in positions with black people more often. So, fun.
liberty is a value. It is not an instinct. You
Really?
don't just instinctually wake up every day and go, you know what? I value life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I value my individual rights.
I value life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness so much that I am going to deny it to the majority of the country. Women, people without property, Native Americans, black people, all of them for a long time.
You have to go
That's
and
how much
educate
I
yourself.
valued
And then
my
you have
life
to
and
sit
liberty
down
and
and
pursuit of
admit,
happiness.
I was wrong. In my hating of this country, I was wrong in where I stood before, and now here I am today. So that's why I wanted to make this video. I wanted to sit down and admit, one, I was wrong. I hated this country and I was wrong. And then two, here I am today.
God,
Here
I
I am
love the
today as a
signaling too
proud
of the flag
conservative
behind
who
his back.
values my freedom, values my liberty, values the fact that I get to pursue my happiness in this country, values the fact that I have individual rights in this country.
Cool.
And really, I know there's a lot of people watching this who already share that sentiment.
How long did it take for you to get those rights in this country? How long have you had some rights in this country for? How long is that? I wonder. Have you had it since 1776? Or not? Because I think we both know the answer.
Who are already there, and I'm so proud of the people who are there. But to the people who are
Oh
not,
my god, I'm
to the
15
people
minutes
who
in and
want
only halfway
to
through.
sit and denigrate America and talk badly about this country, I want you to look at where you are right now.
True.
And
Wonder if
truly
she'll
think,
say.
what is a true systemic problem in this country?
Policing,
What rights
criminal justice, crime, like prisons.
do the white men have or the white capitalists have that you don't? And I think you'll be hard pressed.
Okay. So here's how it works in this country now. Here's how these issues go in this country now. Is it's not literal rights per se that people are disenfranchised or disadvantaged by. It's more nefarious, sneaky things like it's more it's crazy that it still impacts because housing is one of the best ways to build generational wealth in this country, and black people have been prevented from doing that for like all but 20 years of this country, considering redlining was like more like actively like worked against in the 90s. See? Wow. All 61 over years. Cheap alcohol but no food. Houses declined. Homeowners were rejected for loans because black people were prevented from getting loans. See, this is the thing now, is that it's not a literal right. Like, yeah, you can do all the things that a white person can do, but you're gonna have a lot more trouble doing it. Like, dealing with police, getting a job, dealing with the health impacts from past discrimination in housing. Look at this. Housing grades. Look, places with lower tier housing grades have more social vulnerability, higher vulnerability, lower vulnerability, better housing. Seeing it transitions across. All split by the city too, and highways often go through like black neighborhoods, and that's where likely to have they're less likely to withstand national and human disasters because of limited resources. Can we see these actually? Let's see. Or is this gonna be like 140 cities? Let's see. What's a I mean, this happens everywhere. Albany, New York. That's my home city. I'm not there anymore, but Albany, New York is my home city. I mean, and look at what you're dealing with here. Look at what you're dealing with here. There's all these neighborhoods that the lower the stuff, the more likely they are to have to deal with these problems. I mean, it's crazy, right? Like West Albany, Arbor Hill. Arbor Hill was an area I remember was always talked about as being really, really bad. And look, it's got the most social vulnerability here. And then you go into Loudonville, which was always one of the nice neighborhoods where all the white people were able to get the houses. And oh my God, it's one of the nicest neighborhoods. It's crazy. It's crazy. And that kind of stuff still disenfranchises people today. And that's the thing that's so nefarious about it, is it's so subtle. It's so problematic and so subtle. There's so many issues that go into it.
To find an answer to that. And I was hard pressed to find an answer to that. There is no right, there is no privilege that white men have or that other people have in this country that I do not have.
They've built up a lot of advantages from the fact that they've had that stuff for a lot longer than you have.
And I have every opportunity and every chance to
I
pursue
might split this into
what I
two
want
videos.
to
We're
do
at
in
20
this
minutes
country
already.
and what I feel will make me successful and what I feel will make me happy. And when you realize that, the weight that is on your shoulders from hating where you are and hating the founding of this country is lifted. And in your research and in
so
your
awkward.
education, you will find that the people who founded this country you knew there was going to be people who were so free of struggle and so free of any oppression that they would go and make up their own. And that's exactly
The founders of this country were arguing about if black people should be human beings or property. Um, I maybe they didn't acknowledge that as oppression, but it certainly was.
Exactly what's happening right now in this country. We are in this beautiful melting pot that is so devoid of
Yep,
struggle and
so
so
devoid,
full of freedom
so devoid of struggle, so devoid.
and liberty and free speech that we are searching for things that oppress us. We are searching for systemic problems that don't exist. And a lot of the social issues
Yeah, evidence be damned.
that we encounter on a day-to-day basis, that we talk about on a day-to-day basis, are born of this sort of freeness that we have in America. So really think about that
Oh my
when we're
god.
talking about all these social issues and campaigns, that these are born, truly born out of your freedom and nothing else, not out of your oppression. And
No, no, what?
again,
That
that
doesn't even
is
make any
where I
sense.
was. That is what I thought.
That
And
doesn't
I
even
am
make
no
any
longer
sense.
there anymore. I am a proud American. I love this country.
I guess the only way that that could make sense would be if, because you're free, you could now have to deal with a new set of oppression that's there, but that's not how she means it. Like because you've now been free, like you have like rights to vote finally after 200 years, but like now you have new oppressions to deal with, like redlining and black and crime and jobs and this association of black people with just less professionalism and making fun of their dialect all the time and all this stuff, like the AAVE or off, or I don't know if it's pronounced or it's like set out, but fun stuff. I'll give it another second. I might just
And
call it
I
though, because I
regret
feel like it's gonna
thinking
drag on
what
a
I
long
did
time.
before about this country. And I think anybody out there who's listening, who is also in that same vein where I was back
And I think it's starting to be kind of repetitive. I think because it's like, oh my gosh, um, I'm like different now.
then, you are going to regret the time that you spent hating this country, because it is a truly beautiful place
Uh,
that is full of opportunity and that was built to give you freedom, to
was
make you
it
successful,
really
to allow you to pursue your own vision, your own happiness, your own
exactly how the freedoms, the founders? Why did I say freedoms? How the founders intended it, built so that way black people could have freedom, exactly as they intended. That's why it took 200 years and decades of black people being being oppressed and stopped and punished for it to happen. That's exactly why.
own American dream. So if you leave with nothing else, leave with the fact that this is a beautiful, amazing place to be. It is the freest country in the world. It is the most
It's not true. Actually, other countries are rated more free on a freedom index. Ranking countries. Freest country in the world? World press freedom. No, 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 no. I'm looking for Human Freedom Index. Here we go, which is the Cato Institute, which is a libertarian group, a right wing group. Let's. The jurisdictions that took the top 10 places were in order: New Zealand number 1, Sweden number 2, Hong Kong number 3, although this is 2020 probably. This is 2020. Okay, so this was Hong Kong in 2019. Hong Kong doesn't last anymore, unfortunately. Denmark number 4, Australia number 5, Canada number 6, Ireland number 7, Estonia, Germany, and Sweden. And the US was in 17th, so we are not the freest country in the world. That is demonstrably false.
most diverse country in the world, and all of these
Might be the
cultures,
most
all of
diverse.
these religions get to live together and build communities together here in America that are unbreakable. The bonds are unbreakable.
Okay, all right. I just feel like we're virtue signaling now. I'm never yet seen a liberal run anything but into the ground. So true, us. Why does the us look like that? Anyways, not important. All right. I think I'm just gonna say that there because we're 25 minutes in, and I just feel like I'm saying a lot of the same things now and responding to a lot of the same things. So I just feel like I pretty much we got that. Like I don't really want to be repetitive for another like 10 minutes. So thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you again soon.